group of friends sitting down talking about the world. Fake deep think, leave me alone. We kind of
Dickin'.
John.
What's up, guys? You're
Doc.
Yo. What's up? Yo.
What's up, Eugene? Hey, Fake Deep Thinkers. Welcome back to the Fake Deep Thinking Podcast. A group of friends talking about politics, news, culture, sharing our opinions and perspectives. Let's enjoy the crew. We trying, right? Let's introduce the crew. Wow, I'm struggling. John?
I'm going to do the next one. What's up, people? I said I was going to do the next one and immediately fucked up. Let's go.
Yeah, look at you.
That's the type of day we're going to have.
Doc?
What's up, y'all?
Producer in the back, Ian. All right. So, as y'all can see, I just got out of the gym, so you're going to see my knees for this entire podcast. Hopefully my knees aren't looking ugly. So Scandalous, right? So we kind of talked about this a little bit, I think 2 weeks ago, but things have escalated, and I wanted to address the situation since the escalation. That is what's going on in Canada. So I got a couple of things in here to reference, but I took some bulleted points because I just don't want to go through two different articles because I think that would just take too much time. So basically, recently, the situation in Canada with the trucker protest, the freedom convoys they call themselves, it got to a point where Trudeau implemented the emergency powers, and it was replaced by the War Measures Act. Or the War Measures Act was replaced by the emergency powers. And it was actually recently, I think yesterday, was voted to be extended. And what they did is they froze their bank accounts. They towed some of these truckers. And if you have it pulled up, Ian, the mayor of Ottawa, the second one, yep. And they're even talking about, the mayor of Ottawa, where this protest took place, is talking about even wanting to sell the trucks that they confiscated, which is wild to me.
Can you go back to the last tab? I mean, go back to this one. Would I be wrong to say they look Canadian? Don't know why.
Okay, go back to the last tab real
I
quick.
don't know why.
It's like, wait, let me.
No, I don't see what you're talking about personally.
No, I can see that this is an American man.
Okay.
Go to this one. I hear you speak about what's going on.
Which are you talking about? Talking about the left or right guy in the last tab?
Talking about the guy on the left is clearly American in the last one.
Okay, and you're saying you can tell that's the guy on the right?
No, I'm saying these two, both of them look Canadian to me. Are these two individuals Canadian?
More than likely, because I don't know her face.
Okay, a little down here.
I don't think I've ever met a Canadian to be able to tell.
I can't tell. I don't know why. I just feel it.
I don't think
I see Canadians
honestly.
and I feel it.
This freaking guy. Well, the first tab, go back to it, Ian.
You can just sense.
This is a guy speaking
universal
having his
healthcare.
bank accounts.
Yeah,
We're not going to watch it. We can if you guys want to. But this is one of the trucker guys that were at the I don't know if he was an organizer or if he was just a trucker, but he's one of the I tried to swat it. I was trying to be slick, low-key slick about it.
There's a real. I was talking shit. I just
really?
saw it. My bad. Exposed.
Yeah, this is one of the guys that had his assets frozen, and not even his personal accounts, even some of his business accounts have been frozen, which is ridiculous. In my opinion, ridiculous.
Yeah, you got the Wendy Williams.
And obviously the reason I pulled up the other one is because the mayor even talking about wanting to. I don't think he'll be able to be honest with you. But for me, I guess that just bothers me deeply that he's even thinking about the trucks that he confiscated. Protesters. To simplify it, confiscated protesters' belongings, property, and then he wants to sell said property. That's just wild to me. And then this one, which is a little kicker, I don't think I sent it, unfortunately, Ian. Maybe it's on the Twitter page. If you can pull up Twitter on the side while I talk about it,
Ian,
go for it.
One question. Can you find the quote where he says he wants to sell it on this page in quotations? I want his verbatim.
Ottawa's mayor said Saturday that he'd like the city to sell confiscated trucks seized from protesters to if you want to watch the video real quick, let's see if he talks about it in the video.
To recoup some of the costs that our taxpayers are absorbing. Cost about what?
So pretty much because of the trucker protest, they kind of for 3 weeks shut down the economy. Because obviously no one could really move. They took up a lot of the roads, and then they would honk endlessly, which I have another clip which I think is hilarious to kind of show, in my mind, the stretch. Let me be a little bit tame with some of my opinions. The leap people are going to label the protesters in a negative light.
Okay.
But do you want to watch this clip and hear him say it?
Yeah.
Go for it. I'm not sure if he says it here, but go for it.
What do you make of how far the police have managed to get today?
Well, they've done a remarkable job both last night and today. As you pointed out, they've got Wellington Street cleaned up. Most of the trucks have
Click
been
on the chat.
towed
Okay,
away.
yeah, you got it.
And I now just got word that the Sir Johnny MacDonald Parkway, most of the trucks are removed from that section in the west end of the city as well. So they've made a lot of progress. They've been very measured in the response. It's a really tough assignment for police officers, getting yelled at and spat upon, but they have been calm and cool and collective. And we owe a debt of gratitude to all those municipal forces that have come in from across Canada, disrupted our city. You've heard our small business community, and this is costing a small fortune for the taxpayers of Ottawa. And that's one of the reasons why, under the Emergency Act, I've asked our solicitor and our city manager, how can we keep the tow trucks and the campers and the vans and everything else that we've confiscated and sell those pieces of equipment to help recoup some of the costs that our taxpayers are absorbing. So that's one of the provisions of the Emergency Act, and we have been a beneficiary of the
Oh, so we could probably
Emergency Act
actually do it because it's one. Wow. All right, go ahead. Pause it.
Consider.
Wow. Wow. And then two more things. Next thing is, if you could pull up the Twitter real quick, Ian. I sent it. Yeah, not this. Well, let's talk about this, and then I want you to go back to my chat and see if I sent it also. So you had, I think this was during the debate last night or the discussion, and I'm 100% sure, but either way, this is one of the officials in Canada, and she said she had this to say. Go ahead and play it, Ian.
How many guns
Turn it up a
need
little
to
bit.
be seized? How much vitriol do we have to see of honk honk, which is an acronym for Hail Hitler, do we need to see by these protesters on social media? How many guns?
So, I'm trying to formulate a question here.
Isn't that the same as soy boys? That lady saying that everybody's saying soy boy. What did she say? Something about sexy fish? What was that lady talking about?
Oh, I know what you're talking about. The lady where she said sexism and misogyny is similar to
eating meat is racist or some shit like that.
Yeah.
and sexy fish and whatnot. She said, yeah.
How promoting white supremacy.
I mean, I kind of wanted to get that for a topic eventually, but it'd be kind of like
they're the same woman.
hinted at it.
They're the same woman.
Is this woman like
An elected official?
Yeah, she has an elected official, and where is she getting the data that like Hong Kong means Hail Hitler? Like, is that like a thing that they've actually proven? Also, don't they have really strict gun laws in Canada? So, where are they getting these guns?
So, they do have restrictive gun laws, and what happened? I make sure I wrote this down because obviously I'm trying my best to understand their side. Like, why do they feel the need to, one, go to drastic lengths like the emergency powers, and then two, hurt this obvious, in my opinion, I don't know if y'all have been following it, but in my opinion, what I've been seeing is obvious misrepresentation of what's going on and the people who are protesting.
Something similar happens in America.
But real quick, but the reason why Doc asked about the guns, and I'm not sure on the specific of the restrictiveness when it comes to gauze, but apparently they did bust some people near the border with 13 long guns, handguns, body armor, a machete, and ammo. And they were apparently a small organized group.
You don't want to call them a gang?
Were they
that's verbatim what they said.
They probably don't meet the qualifications to be called a gang, huh?
That's just what they said. I just wrote down what they said. I tried to use their exact
I
quote.
know.
Were they Americans or were they Canadians?
That it didn't say there.
Oh, okay.
But obviously Americans have been going on. And another thing they complain about for an excuse, the reason why they wanted to freeze bank accounts, people's assets, because they were getting a lot of outside donations.
So they're freezing people's personal accounts that are linked to.
Well,
like
they're doing that. And they're
GoFundMe?
also the GoFundMe's. They're basically the company's like seizing them. So any GoFundMe, I guess.
But your account has to be linked to one of the things getting money from outside.
I don't actually
support.
know how they're doing it. I just know that like
I don't know how they're
there's
doing it
some
either.
kind of public thing that says like, "Hey, Freedom Convoy Fund." The company's basically seizing it, and they're just like redistributing it to charities of their choices.
No,
Are you talking about GoFundMe specifically, or are you talking about the funds being seized?
The GoFundMe stuff, not like
That's-
their actual funds being seized.
Well, that's
what I'm
well,
asking about.
So GoFundMe saved themselves. So what happened with the GoFundMe thing is it got to a point where people, I don't know if this is true or not, so I'm gonna say this is conspiracy, that Canadian government reached out to them and kind of put some kind of pressure on them to cut off the whole Freedom Convoy thing with donations. Don't know if that's true. That could be a conspiracy thing. They did. They cut it off, stopped it, and how the refund with GoFundMe works is you have a set amount of time to issue your refund. And if you don't issue the refund, they get to donate it to whatever charity they choose, as Doc said. But they received a lot of backlash from that, so they said, we will just send it back to you.
As they should have.
Okay.
Fucking stupid
Yeah.
ass.
Yeah, they try to get away with it because
Yeah.
I saw it on another podcast, but they were talking about it, and like supposedly they'll get like a 10% cut or something like that if they
Mhm.
redistribute it to other charities. So they still want some of the money. So that's why they basically like in fine print say you have to call them to request the money back.
Yeah.
And if you don't do it in the time that you're allotted,
We get to keep it.
they do whatever they want without actually telling you.
So, but they got a lot of backlash for that, and they ended up coming out saying, we're just going to return the money flat out, right out.
You
Just right
caught
out.
us.
Yeah, pretty much. You caught us.
God damn it. Okay.
And with Give, Send, Go, they've been hacked by who we don't know. I don't know if that's been released, but they've been hacked to the point where I don't know if they're unable to receive or unable to send the funds that they've been getting. I don't know the specifics on that, but I know that apparently they've been hacked where it's kind of affected how they run, I guess to say.
When you're willing to
Real quick, you can go to my DMs. Yes, that one. Boom.
Why are we looking at this, dog?
And we're gonna look at your DMs, bro.
So, because I wanted to mention this also before the clip, but we got the clip, so we did that first. And this is the last thing, and I guess let's dive a little deeper than we kind of already have. It's been a lot of reactions and not so much conversation. So last thing. And then the Ottawa police came out, Ottawa by law came out and said, attention animal owners at demonstration. If you are unable to care for your animal as a result of enforcement actions, your animals will be placed into protective care for 8 days at your cost. After 8 days, if arrangements are not made, your animals will be considered relinquished. What's up, Philip? Which is another little
Playboy P.
on the cake. They're even. I just think it's wild, and it's hard for me to react because every feeling I have to, I always come to the same conclusion, which is, it's not America.
Can I?
Go for it.
The taking of their property or whatever.
I mean, it's fucked up, but
and selling it or whatever he wants to do. Honestly speaking, I only have 2 points. That when you can do something like that, you don't wish anybody well, and so
it's
no
revealing.
No matter what, it's just you don't wish anybody well when you're willing to take something, because all those vehicles, campers, you're talking about things that people don't make in a single purchase. You're talking about things that people have
Or
to
used
pay
to make
off,
money, like
or
that's their
that was
livelihood.
income. Yeah, like it wasn't nothing just given to people. Like those are actual livelihoods. So when you're talking about redistributing that or selling that, you're talking about literally taking away from one person, and and you're talking about easing the burden on taxpayers when we all know no matter what amount of money you take from them and sell, the taxes aren't going to be changed. Nothing's actually going to be changed as far as the burden that you're saying is on taxpayers to deal with this. Now, I'll compare this to something similar that's happened in America. It's obviously less violent or less important, I guess. The NBA lockout or lockdown. It happens in all sports when the players refuse.
Mm-hmm.
Now, whose side does the fan take?
Usually, I would assume the NBA players.
No.
Really?
They always take the teams. Why? They want to see their fucking gameplay. Before the player, you're always a fan of the team. That's how most people are. So
that was
it's
me being
not that-
biased, I guess, because last time I heard about it, I was like, I have no problem with it. Go for it.
You know what I'm saying? But
I wasn't mad.
people would support the players, but to a certain extent. So it's like, okay, you're not playing 1 week, 2 weeks, 2 months in, I'm still not getting basketball.
My patience is running
My
thin.
patience, hey, you make millions of dollars. Why don't you just go and play your sport? And so that takes away from the nuance of what the players are actually protesting for or sitting out for or working on, the CBA, which is a agreement between owners and players.
Mm-hmm.
And so in this situation, people were very understanding about what the truckers were going through or they were complaining about.
Then it hit a point.
Then it hit a point where, oh, we can't get this, we can't get that, or traffic, or all the inconveniences that the protest now has I guess caused. The government would use that against them the same way the owners would use, oh, you're not getting any games because of the players, to put the pressure on the truckers. So the reason I compare the two is because the citizens are technically the fans. The citizens are being manipulated into feeling one way or the other. But right is right and wrong is wrong here. You can't do that. I mean, truckers are literally very crucial to the makeup of transportation everywhere.
I mean, the popular phrase that's been going around is truckers are the backbone of the country, of society.
They literally are. That, and trains, obviously, and shit like that, and planes. But just that
Anything
alone,
to do with shipping and transportation of goods. Yeah.
It's very important. Like, you see these UPS ground trucks. You see all these things when your gifts for Christmas. All these guys that drive trucks. So for them to kind of like, I don't know, because we got looser on our truck laws. They got tighter. Now you can get a CDL at a younger age than you could before. I think it's 18 now you can get a CDL. Before it had to be 21. So, I mean, that's really all I got to say, and I don't got nothing to rant about. I just don't think it's...
Because like I said, it's not America, so I'm trying to have like a separation from it, because people are saying the fear is like this could come to America, but in my opinion, no way.
First off, truckers aren't going for that in America.
Well, not even that. This an extreme opinion, and it's honestly not wrong, is we have the Second Amendment.
What? The right to bear arms?
Yeah, you think trucker...
That's
like,
extreme.
I mean, fair. I don't get me. I completely agree with that. But
Well, I think the First Amendment would supersede. Like, technically, they wouldn't have to get to the Second Amendment.
but that's why. Yeah, but that's the reason. That's you have the First Amendment, and then just in case they try to take your First Amendment, well, guess what? You got the backup Second Amendment.
But I'll tell you what. That's a fallacy too. I'll explain why. It's not that we don't have it. We never use it. We never use it. We've had reason to. I mean.
That's why I think that point is an extreme point, because like it.
But we still don't. Even if it got to the extreme, I'm coming to a point now where I don't believe, as America, we would unite against our government. I don't think we have it in us. I think every time it gets to a position to where, I mean, we obviously know how the media works. We obviously know how the government works. There have been examples of them snuffing stuff out or not being as forthcoming as they need to be. There have been times where they've done stuff taken away from us, or done things that you would think, okay, you know what I'm saying?
See,
okay.
I hear you, but
was it the right to bear arms when niggas was protesting?
I hear what you're saying when it comes to extreme, we might not do it, but I want to challenge that, because, and the reason why it took me a question, I don't know how to word this, and I don't want this to come across arrogant, but like I'm in news every day.
Correct.
Good or bad thing, I'm watching politics. It's annoying, I understand it, but I just can't help it. Some people like, sometimes I know y'all, I know don't know Doc. Sometimes probably it's what I said him stuff, but I'm in it every day. And one thing I have to be fair about is, I'm reluctant to say the far right, but it's damn sure starting to sound like it. And this guy's not a white supremacist, but because as people say, no, not even that. It's just real far rear. I don't like how far right and white supremacists go hand in hand. You can be a far right and not a white supremacist. Why is a far right exclusively white supremacist? I don't want to talk about that. What I would say far right.
You're the one who brought up the two.
Fair.
I didn't say it. You brought up the two.
Damn, I didn't write it down. So there's a show, You're Here, with Sidney Watson and Elijah Schaefer, and they had this one guy, I forget his name, but he's apparently is a really popular conservative, right ringer, far right guy. It's hard not to argue against that based off some of the things he said. And they were on the show. They talked with him, asked about some opinions he had. And one of the things that really bothered me was he let it out that he thinks the conservative way is the right way and the only right way, and the only way to leave government is the public, whatever he said. Like, it is the right way. Conservatism, republicanism, like, is better than anything else they're meant to this. Like, it felt very superior, if I could say. And
condescending.
Maybe condescending is a better word. But when I heard that, I was like, we got to talk about this. Because to be fair, like, we got to watch out for that also, in my
Correct.
opinion. Because
Correct.
I don't think I really align with, to be fair, I know I try to say I'm more on the right side of the spectrum, but that's because I lean that way. I'm not like this full-on Republican conservative guy. Like, I do have conservative values, but I just don't think I lean one way politically. I like to think like I'm like you, but obviously I have no problem taking a stance, but I like to float the line because
I
the
don't have a
line
problem
is the
taking a stance.
safest.
Gene has said it. Let's continue. Come on. Come on.
Sorry.
Let's continue. No, I'm good. Come on.
And I'm just saying, like, that's why I don't know. It seems like there's people on the right who are becoming a little more,
Comfortable?
I guess, comfortable.
It's their time to be comfortable.
'Cause
Liberalism
that-
has been comfortable for a little bit now.
Far right,
Exactly.
usually
Liberalism
they're
is comfortable. Sorry, God, Doc, go on.
You're probably apologizing to God or me, man.
No, I said sorry, Doc, because I cut you off.
No worries. The issue with the far right is just that like there's a possibility of them becoming extremely utilitarian. And the reason right now I think that like the whole thing for white people being associated with white supremacy and far right is because the last big group to really support far right was all white. I mean, you had the Germans and they were trying to push the Aryan race, and so I think it's just like echoes and ripples of that one big event, and we just like always refer back to the Nazi party and stuff like that for anything. Like both sides use it as a weapon to toss it and blame the other side.
Same way they assume black people vote Democrat.
And so they'll just be like point fingers and be like, "You're the Nazi, you're the Nazi, and you're the Nazi, and you're the Nazi." And I get the ideas of conservatism, like it's just kind of like loss aversion. Like it's just like stay traditional and just follow the set path that's already been laid down and stuff like that, and keep going. So I get the
I
pull
would say
between
risk aversion, but maybe it's the same thing. Maybe I'm just pulling hairs.
I get the conflict between progressive and traditionalist. I think like super like opposite ends of the spectrum there are where it becomes dangerous, and that's really where it's just like those people are both the same person. They're just on opposite sides of the fence.
Agreed.
Because the far right person who's just like, no, this is the only way to do it, and this is the best way, and it's just like, dude, you're so uptight. Like,
Chill.
You might just like cause a genocide like previously. And then the far left, it's like, no, this is the only way. And it's just like, dude, you might start a cultural revolution like previously. Like, it's just,
Chill.
So it's a lot of give and go or give and get, I guess. For this, what's happening in Ottawa, I honestly, I want to say like it's a little too much. It's very draconic, man. Like seize their assets, take the vassal states. Like, you know what I mean? Like the fucking commoners are rising up, suppress them. Like
then they extended it too, like, and they're actually talked about apparently like making some of them permanent.
It's a little much, man. And I get that some of the provinces are in conflict. Like not all of them want this. Not all of them thought that the emergency power should have been activated. And Trudeau's kind of like just doing it. So it's also weird from an American perspective because it's just like, dude, given the riots, like people were dying. Like we actually had people die throughout riots across the country. At one point, the country seemed like it was on fire.
Billions in damages.
Yeah,
buildings
were being on fire. Federal agents were being thrown fireworks and like Molotovs and stuff like. Well, maybe not Molotovs. It might be too extreme, but like for sure fireworks and stuff like that.
No, I'd say some Molotovs.
I guess like they tried, but the only ones I can think of to my memory are the ones that happened in Seattle, where like the people were sieging the building, the federal building that they were
Don't
at.
you guys remember that video?
The trash can?
No, of the guy who randomly threw a Molotov and a guy got caught on fire.
Oh yeah, that was in yeah, I do remember that video. Okay, well, stuff like that. But
Yeah.
it's just like nobody ever.
That's why I was like,
their
Molotovs have been
assets.
thrown.
Like Trump never enacted like emergency powers to seize assets. He did deploy military in like the worst places,
And
especially,
people
like,
and Trump
Indianapolis.
supporters and some Republicans like wanted him to. They were advocating for it. And I was like, man, I don't know.
Yeah, but he never did that. And so to watch Trudeau for some truckers that are sitting in the middle of the road do that, it's a little intense. I'm like, bro, we had death and we still didn't do that.
That's
And
my point.
These guys are chilling and you're doing that, so it's like, oh, man, it's a little too much.
But some people, I understand. That's why I understand your point. But the reason why I don't think
We're not pulling guns on the government in America. That shit's fake. That we think we have the right to do it, so we think we will do it. We're not gonna do it. Let me tell you something, man. When they made the Constitution, did all that shit, they did it they catered it to the audience. They catered it to the people of the time. none of our laws now really are really catered to how the people are. It's catered to keeping the people a certain way. So as far as government and everything like that right now, it's old. It's out of date. I'm not saying government itself is out of date, but
Constitutional Convention.
Something else that's not going to happen. That's what I'm saying. All these things are can happen in small groups. All these things can happen in smaller pockets. America itself will never, first off, we're too divided. We're never going to unite about any of that stuff. And to your point, when you talk about taking a stance or something, I didn't take it negatively or anything like that. But
No,
in
it was
my
funny.
opinion,
That probably sounded corny.
in my opinion, both sides sound stupid. Like, both sides have always sounded stupid. The stuff that y'all argue about, to me, is stupid. I hate politics. I hate American politics. It's not even interesting. The story's not even interesting.
Not even American. It's politics in
No,
general.
no.
I understand.
I like Nigerian politics. People die. You know what I'm saying? It's interesting. Like, Netflix, if Netflix made a movie about Nigerian politics, I would watch it. If America made a movie about American politics, I only want to see the CIA shit. I want to see the shit that was leaked and y'all didn't get to see. No. Everything else is speeches and propaganda and divisive tones. So, like, for me, as far as picking a side or picking something to stand, it just, I have my own morals that I lead, but it's not even I don't care. I can't I can't take a stance on something that's not meant for me. And most of the stuff that
meant for you.
Like,
What
most
do
of
you
the
mean by
stuff,
that?
for example, I was not put in mind, not me personally, but as a citizen, I don't feel I was kept in mind when a lot of these things were put in place. Even current things, newer things, or whatever laws are put in place. As a citizen, it's just my opinion that when they're putting these laws in place, they actually don't think of the benefit or the welfare of any real citizen or any real group or any real anything. It's more of
A vague
reactionary. Idea. Something happened. Let's placate them with this, or we'll overcorrect here. Yeah, but it's never really. So as far as
genuine?
So as far as like even just all like even watching politics, getting into it, I understand its importance, but I believe people who watch politics all the time will end up becoming the thing that they think they think they're informing themselves. They end up becoming super critical people, super biased, and it's no real. You actually lose a sense of reality watching politics because the nuances of interacting with human people aren't in politics. So like all of that stuff to me is fake. All of it is to me is dumb. Trudeau, I've never listened to a politician and say, you know what, he gets it. I've never listened to a politician and say, just normal conversation, just he knows what song's actually popular right now. Not like that's a thing, but he actually has a pulse on what is actually going on.
What people find fun, enjoy, comedic.
It's always somebody told me this emoji was funny. Or it always feels like somebody scripted this thing for the politician to do that. No politician ever seems really in touch with anything currently going on. They're always behind the curb and then reacting late behind the curb to something that they think is a big wave, but it's never anything. Like this lady talking about sexy fish is wild. This lady talking about eating meat is racism is wild. That's politics. That's politics. That's politics. I don't want any part of that. That shit's stupid.
Has it always been like that?
It's always
we're 30
been like
years
that.
old, and honestly, it's been.
Yeah, it's always been like that, but they've always been able to keep people interested based off of their issues. If I have an issue with something, if I have an issue with some money going missing off my card, guess what? I'm calling Chase every fucking day until it gets fixed. So if I hear anything about Chase, I'm listening, because as far as I'm concerned, it applies to me.
Said it disconnected.
Oh shit.
Yeah, sorry for that, guys. I
Well,
don't know.
Are we still live? Okay.
Yeah, he said we're in. Yeah.
Okay.
I mean, to bring it back to the topic itself, I think when you see all of this stuff interacting, you see this is when real people meet politics, and
that's fair. No, I genuinely think that's fair, because that's a good point.
It's not.
But you touched on something I think is a crucial thing, because I definitely understand your point, and I definitely, to be transparent, or not transparent, I want to use, but whatever. I just say I watch Fireplace every day, so I got these words in my mind. I guess you could say I kind of started to feel like that when I first got deep into politics. But what was I don't want to say saving grace, but I guess anchor that kept me grounded was being able to talk to you guys about it. Like, I'm very aware sometimes I can probably get fucking annoying. But you guys still give me the time of day. You still entertain me. You still indulge me. And that entertainment and indulgement in that time of day helps me sort through it. Because you can only go so far when you talk to yourself.
Yeah.
Some people apparently don't, as we realized
They don't
last
even have
podcast.
the voices.
They don't even have the voices. But sometimes you can only talk to...
Politician.
What do you say, Doc?
Imagine if somebody like that is a politician.
Bro.
They have like no internal
No,
voice. and they're
bro.
just,
I
like,
believe it. I believe
go
most of them are
Bro.
politicians. No, but to your point, what you're saying,
But that's what people need. That's why, like...
but the reason it works is because we're not big on politics. If all I listened to was politics, it would be contentious. Eventually, it would get contentious if we were on opposite sides. Because it's politics. It's right and wrong. That's how politics is worded. It's right and wrong. There's no
Real solution talk.
Yeah, there's no real solution or anything like that. So it's not that there's anything wrong with
It's just that there's a problem.
boom.
But rarely
and
ever do we argue about solutions.
so to my point, people who end up watching too much politics and don't have any other real interactions, like their social, everything is around politics, they lose their sense of humor. Their humor becomes based on politics. Now let me tell you something. Politicians can be funny. Things can happen funny in politics. When you're laughing at stuff that, oh, this politician messed up and did this, or that's your sense of humor now, you've changed your sense of humor. You've changed it to actually enjoying things that make people laugh and enjoying the stuff. To almost, you only really get humor from other people on the other side messing up.
So is it wrong to have humor for it, or is it
No.
wrong to only specifically and
Yes.
only humor for that?
Yes.
Okay.
And I can tell
Because
people.
I'm
I
not
can
gonna,
tell
I've been
people
guilty
who
of that. I'm not
lean.
even gonna lie.
I can tell people who lean. Like, for example, and this isn't to call you out or anything like that. The New Year's thing with Andy Cohen when he went on his little thing.
Rant, yep.
Yeah.
Drunk rant.
And people were like, "Oh, that's hilarious." The nigga didn't say nothing funny. He didn't say anything funny. So if you found any word he said funny, your humor has fucked up because you're really all you care about was it was about that politician that you don't like. So that's why it was funny because
But
finally
you just
somebody
said, though,
saying
that you can find that funny, but
I
have
laughed
humor
at
anywhere
him
else.
because I thought what
So
he
you're
was
saying the
doing,
full image of it,
the
like
full thing, everything put together is hilarious.
if you're into politics, you probably found that funny. If you're not into politics, you probably saw like he's just drunk.
And that's the funny part. But his verbiage, if that was a stand up.
And how it made him look, because clearly the other guy was like, "You need to."
If it was stand-up comedy, I would have turned it off. It's not funny. So that's what I'm saying. Is like there's this thing where for some reason with politics, we lose a little bit of touch to like humanity or like the personal.
I would say reality, like kind of
reality.
in a way.
Yeah, reality.
Because that's the full thing. Like even when we discuss politics,
100%.
like either I can acknowledge like sometimes I come across cringy. Right, but I just don't care because politics sometimes with the discussions that can be had and how people view things going on. There's technically speaking, it's challenging a worldview.
100%.
And sometimes a worldview can either be wrong, inaccurate, or cringy. Some people can be cringy. It just comes with the territory.
100%.
And not having that when it comes to politics, specifically politicians, why I understand the distaste for it. Because it just seems, if I could put it down to one single word, fake.
Fake. Every time you speak, anytime a politician speak, the laugh, the smile, the everything. I don't want nothing, anything that's coming from you. I don't want. That's just me personally. So it just may seem like I just don't want nothing from them. I don't believe nothing from either side. Anytime.
All right, we're
ever.
talking about this for 30 minutes. Doc, you have anything to say? Because we kind of going on rant there.
Fuck Canada.
Well, I think it depends on the person's like or the individual's level of obsession with it. Like if you meet somebody who's like, he voted on AB, can you believe that? Like policy AB. I'm just like, bro. I guess like I didn't read it too much, but like if it's like funny to you, then like maybe that person's like really, really, really involved and like I don't know, they've got like a fucking party behind it or some shit like that or some kind of grouping. So like I think once it gets to like a really, really deep level of that, then it's a little. It like I said, it would then come down to the person's like character and be like, all right, are they obsessed with this or are they not?
Their laugh changes to a smug laugh too.
Yeah, I guess I could see that too. As far as like politics moving slow though, it really it just comes down to that it's an institution. And because it's an institution, it can't move fast. Like by nature, it's just supposed to be slow. If it moves fast, it crushes people's lives. And so I can see why you would get like, you know, out of touch. But that's why like they have like the old legend of like the king coming to talk to the commoners and stuff like that, so he stays in touch. I think Trudeau is not listening right now. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
So that I don't like he's not even trying to compromise. Like he's not as far as I can
Wouldn't
tell,
even
I don't know if
talk to them.
yeah, like I don't think he's actually coming down. Like he just went up into the high castle and just kind of stayed there. Like I know they're obnoxious, but I that's kind of my issue. Like I haven't seen anything as far as I can tell that's shown him trying to be like, all right, what do you really want? Because they're also talking about how like this is really more for the vast majority of Canadians because they've got way stricter laws for COVID than we do, or like mandates and stuff like that. Um, I mean, even if like you think one band-aid is strict in one place in the United States, you can always just hop to the next state and they'll have lesser, restrictions. I actually think that's why John has a point that like we'll probably never actually revolt against the government because half of us will be on the side of the government, the other half will be on the side of whatever else we
Always.
believe in.
That's
we'll end up
scary to
in a
me
civil
personally.
war before we end up
good-
uniting
fair.
together to overthrow the government. Um, I mean, but that's like our own curse and blessing at the same time. You know what I mean? So like for these truckers, like they could just move to Texas or Florida and not experience what they're experiencing on the entirety of the country. So I think they're in a very different situation. Like I said, like I think Trudeau is right now just kind of in a high castle. So I get why they're upset. Um, if there is like something where he's tried to reach out to them to compromise or do something, then yeah, maybe I'm totally wrong in my rant, but I think that's the biggest issue. There's just no communication. It's just kind of his way or the highway.
Yeah, as far as I understand, he hasn't really done any kind of communication with truckers. It's been this is how I see it. This is what y'all are. This is what we need to do, and that's how it's going to be.
And I don't got much to say, but to your point, when I was talking about being in touch or being current, it's not even necessarily about being current. It's about not pretending to be then. You know what I'm saying? Because I just never feel a genuine. I've never met who the politician says they are. I've never really met them. Who they like? There's just I chop trees down. I'm a forest guy. Vote for me.
Just gonna have a beer.
I'm just gonna have a beer here on camera. Vote for me. I'm just gonna wear these Timbs with the low soles, and I'm gonna have
That's
a
where
laced
shit
up.
gets weird,
I'm
man,
gonna
'cause,
laced
like,
up boot tight.
For some
Carry
people,
around my hot
like,
sauce.
hey, I'm gonna have
my
a beer, like, and talk to you and vote for me. Like, to some people, they find that charming, and then other people are like, you're just gonna fucking vote for a guy who's gonna drink on the job,
Drink
and
on
a little
the-
more uptight, and they want a dude in a suit and shit like that. And it's just like, are you gonna please everybody, man? Like, it's just different people there's a different structure, different.
Man, they wear their
different folks
ties
within the
based
show.
on statistics, so I can't even talk to them robots. We
that's
show that
weird.
30% of
weird.
progressive children like the color purple tie. You're gonna wear purple polka dots today.
All right, let's move on because I honestly have some more points I want to add, but let's get away from politics. We talked about it for 30-something minutes, 35. So real quick, let's do a shout out to our podcast sponsor, Angel Blinds. Wow, this podcast is sponsored by Angel Blinds. Leave me alone. A local Atlanta, Georgia area small business. Their blinds help you get a new look for your living room, to your bedroom, to your dining room. They even have custom kids blinds with their favorite superhero or princess. With our promo code
Or-
FDT,
Superhero princess, or it's still February, my boy. Go ahead.
or your favorite black activist, Martin
get
Luther
it.
King,
We get
MLK.
Yes, sir.
I don't know if that's true or not.
My
Just-
dog
just
Snoop
a
Dogg,
little- that's us being funny.
another black hero.
Don't hit him up because we
Snoop
don't
Dogg.
put him in a corner. With our promo code FDT, our audience gets 10% off their first purchase. You can find them on Facebook page Angel Blinds or Instagram at Angels_Blinds. Check them out.
Y'all go get them blinds.
Sorry, Angel Blinds for our nonsense.
Y'all go get them
I'm
damn
sure it's hard
blinds.
for them to ask, man. Just be like, can you do this? If they can, they can. Then-
Grandpa, I don't want blinds.
Fair.
Too damn bad. It's too damn bad. Mike,
All right, let's get something honestly I thought was hilarious when I heard
I
about
can't believe
this.
we're not talking about that down here.
We can talk about that instead if you want, honestly. Because
Oh,
there's not much to look into in there. It's just a
okay.
picture and then reacting to it.
Okay,
So-
you're right.
So, real quick, Ian, go to the Instagram. Messages.
There's
Oh,
Doc
that's me
playing the
playing.
guitar.
That symbol, yep. I'm not going to lie to you, Doc. That earring is suspect.
That earring is
it?
player, bruh. Don't let
Shiki.
nobody tell you different.
Bro, it's a stat booster, man. It gives me like +3 strength.
Oh, y'all are finding out how we
Boom, the model.
how we go through this. Okay, good.
All right, yeah. Let's talk about this. I don't know if we should talk about this, honestly.
I am probably gonna go to hell if we record this.
Well, we are, bro. So
I was about to say
Oh.
we're recording. What do you mean?
This is
So,
touchy.
So let's react. Do you want to say something, Doc?
no, I mean,
Oh, okay. Sorry.
like honestly, like if you want me to start the conversation, then like I see the fact that it's different, being uncomfortable, but I kind of don't take too much issue with it. Like if Victoria's Secrets wants to do this, then sure. Like why not? I don't know if it's like offending anybody or if it's shaming anybody or anything like that. So
Let
I
me
just think
read.
it's different.
Yeah, so it's not that I want to start a conversation, so I just thought you had something to say. But let me read this real quick, and then let's start sharing our thoughts. So the 24-year-old became the first Victoria's Secret model with Down syndrome. She shared the exciting news on social media, joining the fashion brand for a new underwear line and campaign, Love Cloud Collection. She captioned the post, "One day I dreamed of it, I worked for it, and today it's a dream come true. I can finally tell you my big secret." Drew wrote, I hope I'm saying that right, "I am Victoria's Secret's first model with Down syndrome." She added, "Thank you, Victoria's Secret, for seeing me as a model who has no limits and making me part of the inclusive Love Cloud Collection campaign. Inside and out, there are no limits."
I commend them for it.
she-
I think it's cool. I think you can tell she obviously works out and all that type of stuff. So it's good that it's. I don't want to say it's a. Yeah, I can say that it's a role model. Like she just the work she put in to it. Like she had to put herself in these positions. She wasn't just. You know what I'm saying? She wasn't just
I think the
walking
only
down the
issue
street
is just
and
the
they
fact
gave her
that
a
it's
model.
Down syndrome. Because technically speaking, if you take, like, she's not an ugly girl and she's got a great body. I'm not even going to lie. But I think the issue is
She got
just
even bigger heart.
big heart. And I think the issue is just the hill I can't get over, and I'm keep trying to harp on. I'm trying to understand. It's just the Down syndrome part.
They should have been doing this. A comment. They should have been doing this. They seen how Fenty came and wanted to be copycats. Oh, okay. So somebody's done this already. Fenty is Rihanna's line. She's basically been the flagship of all-inclusive makeup since she's came out. So that makes sense. Okay, cool. So this is a little bit of tit for tat.
So Pretty and I heard another comment. Another person, Sarah something, I think Gonzalez on the I Am Here podcast. Her shtick was she sees it as kind of like you shouldn't sexualize people with Down syndrome. It's kind of like a taking advantage of kind of thing, if I'm remembering her correctly. And
Does she have Down syndrome?
no.
Like
But
also, isn't it like a spectrum? Like there's different like amounts or like affliction,
Like
for
severities?
Down syndrome.
Mhm.
Yeah, like severities and stuff like that. Also, like those people, they marry each other, and they, for aside from the disability, like they are also trying to live normal lives and achieve like their goals.
So people with Down
So-
syndrome don't read magazines? They're not allowed to or something?
I mean, no, it's not it, because there's people that are like highly functional that they just happen to have like a certain amount of severity for Down syndrome and stuff like that.
I'm talking about this
So-
lady. She's saying that the lady that he said is sexualizing.
Sarah Gonzalez,
People-
or I
yeah,
think that's her name. I could be
She's
wrong.
sexualizing Down syndrome. Why? She's assuming that only regular.
That's what she wants. This is
she's
her
assuming-
dream. Like, if that's her dream and she got it, like, good for her. And like I said, like, she's not ugly and she's got a great body. Like, she clearly worked for this.
But she's assuming that only people without Down syndrome would sexualize the girl, or look at the pictures and say, "Oh, she's got a nice body" or whatever it is.
Well, she's
When-
also assuming that like people who have Down syndrome
Don't read
have-
magazines.
Or shouldn't be. She's saying basically what she's saying is, I don't know if that's what she's saying. I get what your point you're trying to make. I think more accurately, she's just trying to say that you shouldn't sexualize people with Down syndrome.
So people with Down syndrome can't sexualize other people with Down syndrome? My point still remains. If I'm a person with Down syndrome and I see her in a magazine, I may be more
Become a poster in my room.
yeah. Like what are we talking about? She's making it seem like only people without Down syndrome will pick up the magazine, and those are the only people who can read the magazine. Those are the only people who can sexualize her.
Well, then
but what if it's not appealing to all the people?
Well, then I think I don't. This might be a show. I genuinely don't know. But then the counter argument to that, or not a counter argument, addition is people who don't have Down syndrome finding this sexy and sexualize her in their minds. Like, is that then an issue?
What about when they put up a article
might be,
of not an article? What is it? A
I mean, not
Victoria's
an issue,
Secret.
but I'm sure people do
They
that.
Victoria's Secret's models were Brazilian, Adriana Lima. Do you think that Brazilian women are not fetishized? Like, come on, black women. You think that? No, and I'm not talking about racism or nothing like that. But we've all seen porn videos. You don't think there's any white guy at all that sees this dark, beautiful black girl on the thing and says, "Yeah, you little monkey. Yeah, I'm gonna be," and beats it.
What are you doing,
Like you
dog?
don't think that the whole thing is fetishized. There's somebody to fetishize all of it. Anything you can think of. There are people who like children who walk the earth. You get what I'm saying? There are people who like children walk. So for people to say, "Oh, if there are you could put an Amish woman fully clothed. I guarantee you, there's an Amish guy in a stall somewhere looking at the Amish magazine, beating off. It doesn't matter. Yes, it doesn't matter. So I don't get the whole. If this is what she wants to do, whoever it appeals to, it appeals to. She's making her money. Companies making their money. You'd rather her be jobless? Man, shut the fuck. I mean, sorry. Go ahead. I think that's stupid. I'm trying to take an opportunity. Same thing with the midget Mac from. Oh damn, we're gonna get canceled. Little Dick. What's his name?
Peter Dinklage.
Yeah, there we go. Goddamn.
Damn, I'm clipping that.
I'm just saying, like the same. He got 7 people job. They don't have jobs.
Yeah.
Because of your moral stance. So if it came from somebody with Down syndrome that was speaking out against it, and they provided some nuance to the
Let
conversation.
people want to be in the part. Let them be in the part. Leave your opinion out of it. If she wants to do this Victoria's Secret model and she did it, let her. I see it. Let her do it. The people are. I guess I don't know if this is true. I've seen this, so I don't know if people are asking this, but this is definitely a question that's been asked, and I don't know an answer to it. It's just, is it wrong to sexualize her? And if their
what is the
focus
sexualized part?
Their focus is the Down syndrome part.
What is the sexualized part? That she's in underwear?
Basically, I guess.
But
yeah.
there are underwear.
And she's
So
revealing-
I have a
not
question.
not really revealing,
The
she's
underwear
cleavage, which I
commercials
guess
for
revealing.
the plus size women that show them dancing and being joyous and
they do it,
enjoying their
but
body.
they do it. That's the issue.
Is
Like, she
that
made a decision.
sexualized?
Probably.
I'm saying, is that them? Is that the people who making the commercials sexualizing those big women when they're just dancing and showing they should be comfortable in their skin, regardless of what they're wearing? I don't think so.
I think
So
this is
why
just
is it-
everything can potentially be sexualized. Why are we focusing
Son,
on?
if she was fat, son, they wouldn't say this. If she wasn't like
Maybe,
if it
honestly, I'm not
if it
gonna lie. It's just
wasn't
the fact that she's
in a
fit
bikini
and
but
bra
she
and
worked
whatnot.
on that. That to me, that's stupid, man.
Her body's amazing. She looks fit. Like, look at those shoulders. Look at those
I
traps
also
right
think
there.
it comes down to the girl
She's
too.
fit.
Like, you have to take her opinion into consideration. Like, what if she wants to be sexual?
She don't know no better. That's what anybody who reads this and says, "Oh, they're sexualizing and they're taking advantage of her." She don't know no better. That's what they're saying. She don't know no better. Why? Why don't she know better?
Yeah,
she
she probably went for it. I mean, she said it was a goal. I'm sure she wanted it.
Mm-hmm. I completely agree
One
with you,
day I
Doc.
dreamed of it. I worked for it.
And this dream came
true.
That sounds like somebody with conviction.
Today's a dream come true.
But hey, she don't know no better. That's what that lady's saying, Sarah Gonzalez. She don't know no better. She has everything she decided to do. I know better. She don't know no better. I know for better. Why? Because
I think that's. I think that's right. That sentiment. Because when I first saw this, it was like, oh, okay, this is interesting. But I didn't have like a problem with it because obviously when you read it, it's like if this is what she wanted, she actually worked for it. You can tell she worked for it.
Can you read
she
that?
got it. You shouldn't be mad.
She
It's
added-
just if you personally are mad at this as a guy, is it because you find her attractive and then once she has Down syndrome, is it like something that bothers you? Like I don't know. I just don't see why this is an issue. And then for her, like you said, to find it an issue, it's like I know better. It's like that's probably another thing also. Like that would make sense to me.
Can I read this line? She added, "Thank you, Victoria, for seeing me as a model." That's not the end of the sentence, but that's where I'm gonna leave it because when I hear that, I hear rejection. I can imagine her being rejected a lot, and so like the seeing me part is what's like she got respect for the field that she wanted to be in.
Her hard work, basically.
Yeah,
That's how she
so,
probably sees it. Like,
to
I worked
me-
hard for this. My hard work was recognized.
Yeah.
That's a good feeling.
I think that's bigger than anything that you think somebody's. And then this is the thing too. I've always been very weary.
You overlooked her hard work because it something that benefited
because
you.
you can't get past the Down syndrome. That's
Maybe
the
not
problem.
benefit you, but something that you could use that would benefit you in a way, if that makes sense.
You can't get over the Down syndrome. The Down syndrome is your problem, not hers. You know what I'm saying? And then
I agree
I'm
with
always
that.
wary of people who would like to pop people's bubble if the bubble isn't affecting anybody else. So like,
You're
if
mad that
she-
I'm happy?
If she is happy, why do you want her to? If she is being taken advantage of in a way that's non-harmful and she's getting exposure or whatever it is, do you want her to be unhappy about it? Like, what is your goal then? I've always been very wary of people who would just pop. Well, actually, then what good did that do? Now I'm just not happy. I guess the only thing that's changed now. I don't get to enjoy something. You took it away. So I'm always weird. People like that, man, go to hell.
I don't know if Doc's back or not. I was going to say if you have anything
Doc's
to
back.
add.
Yeah, I came back. Not really, man. I kind of said my piece on it. Yeah, like if she's happy and like I don't see the issue with it. Like it's just another model who got to have the chance to be on the cover, man.
All right.
And how few people actually got to do that. That's pretty dope.
Yeah.
You think she's not gonna bring no money to any Down syndrome charities or any? Man, come on, let's go next topic.
Let's talk about. Do you want to do the Tinder swindler or you want to talk about the
I just think that combination of names is fantastic.
Doc's accessibility
Yeah.
in video games?
Let's do Doc's topic.
Yeah, let's do accessibility in video games.
I feel like it segues nice into what we were just talking about, though.
Perfect.
Yeah, because the whole idea for this is like accessibility isn't easy. I'm just reading the top headline. Accessibility isn't easy. What easy mode debates miss about bringing games to everyone. And so throughout the entire article, basically what they're talking about is how there is right now a conflict in video games where people want options for accessibility, and then other people think that the games should be made as the intended versions of themselves. So to bring it to
one
like a
difficulty.
popular title like Dark Souls, or even I know Gene saw me playing Sifu over the past like couple weeks. So essentially Sifu is really freaking hard, and so is Dark Souls. Like just baseline, it's just super difficult to play it. People have kind of pressed on From Software, which is the creators of Dark Souls, to make an easy mode for the game because other people want to enjoy it. But the concept behind the game is it's supposed to be difficult. The developer and the guy who directed it intently made it hard so that a group of people could unite to overcome it together. And that's how he created the community that it has now and the following and its popularity that it has. So to give it an easy mode, then why would I need to seek somebody else out for advice to do it and stuff like that? And so the discussion has been like, should we just make things easy, or should we make them more nuanced and add small accessible options? So like some of the other counter games that I'll use an example are like the new Guardians of the Galaxy. Like you can slow down certain fights. Like if you're really bad at like coordination with like spatial awareness and you can't do like guns and stuff like that, you can slow down the parts where you have to use a gun, but then you can play the rest of it the normal way. And you can kind of fine tune it to literally like the way your brain works so that you can make it more accessible to yourself. And
Are these just for solo games?
it can be for solo games,
Not
and that's the other
MMOs?
thing too, where like when it comes to competitive games, I think that shit's out the window, to be honest. But
Completely.
to offer more insight on that, like specifically right now in
Is it wrong
fighting
of me to
video
say that
games-
sounds weak?
No, because to tell you the truth, man, like I have some of these elitist ideas too, man. Like one thing I read in this article was that in Pokemon, the newer Pokemon games, they tell you what moves are going to be super effective against the Pokemon that you're fighting.
What?
Yeah, and it tells you like if your Pokemon
getting dumb.
like stuff like that. Yeah, because I was just like, yo, wasn't the point of being a Pokemon master to learn everything about Pokemon and know like how to battle and know that my Pikachu beats like that thing or whatever, and this attack beats that thing, and like I just put time and I learned I learned the natures of all these Pokemon and stuff like that, and I like genuinely know this knowledge now, so that I'm like a good competitor, a good trainer or whatever. Like I know it's a video game, but in the same sense, like you're putting in the effort to virtually become a Pokemon master. But now the game just displays like your Pokemon attack is strong against this one. You're like, oh, okay, cool. I'm gonna send that one. Oh, this one? Okay, I'll use this one. You don't even know what it really does. It just says it's good. You know what I mean?
You know what that does? It turns the game from actually like playing a game to, you remember as a kid I used to hate the games when it was action time. A cutscene would happen and it'd be like press square now. And he's like,
Oh yeah,
press
that's
triangle.
one of the things. That's one of the things in
Press
that Guardians
circle.
of the Galaxy game. You can take that out if you don't want to do it.
Yeah, I want to kill the thing myself. I don't want you to just be cutscenes, press square now, press triangle, press. And you know what? There are people that enjoy this shit. Let me tell you something. I used to play 2K. Somebody made me hate playing 2K. This guy named Jordan. I'll never forget. Jordan, I hope you're suffering in 2K right now, wherever you are.
Michael Jordan?
He used to, no, he used to, there's an option where you can play as all 5 players, which you would assume you're playing against each other. That's what you're going to play, right? Or you can play as one player on the 5. And the computer will play as the other 4 for you. He would put it on the hardest mode and then play as the one character and always just pass the ball. I was like, how are you enjoying the game? You have the person you're controlling has 4 points. Yeah, but I'm beating your ass though. The computer is. I'm over here giving it my best shot, controlling all 5 players. This man has to control one person. As soon as they pass the ball, get it off of me, pass it away. Just enjoying. What? So like, there are people like that, and I don't think you should be allowed to do that shit competitive. That shit's lame. I hated the game because of that shit.
In my opinion, that's what makes games so fun. Like, for example, recently, my brother's got me in League of Legends.
Is it good?
Bro, I'm addicted. I'm not even going to lie to you.
Really now?
And it's funny how I got addicted. So, literally, my first game,
Your ass beat.
I got dicked on, bro. This guy bullied me. I use that link. It's how they are. Dude, League of Legends is toxic. I'm not going to lie to you. It's funny seeing how people talk in League of Legends. They're freaking toxic,
That's the
bro.
game
Yeah,
that you
dude,
see the competitions about, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, but it's
Okay.
weird, man. You come out of that game with like the thickest skin. Like I've been told to die so many times that like when I
That's why I say
I'm
that,
not
because
afraid
it's
to
like
go
the
into,
little
like,
verbiage
meetings
that
with,
people
like,
say to you.
yeah.
Damn.
So, like, it was an experience.
What
and-
character do you? What type of character do you?
So when I first played, I played Darius, right, Doc?
Oh yeah, yeah. They got the axe. Yeah,
This guy with this axe. I
This is
played
where your squad goes against another squad, correct?
5 versus 5.
Okay.
Well, usually there's multiple
Is
game
it
modes,
team
but I think the
deathmatch,
most
or is
popular
it,
5 versus 5. I could be wrong. Doc, back me up here if I'm wrong.
It's
there.
think of it like tug of war. Like you got to get your boys on their side, and you got to take out their base.
Oh, okay. Okay.
It's
cool.
PvP, but it's like I ruined someone's date night when I was playing with Gene one night. People are toxic, bro. Ian's funny, dog.
Damn.
Bro, like I don't know why though the go-to
Is it straight PC?
insult in that
Yeah.
game is cancer.
think.
Everyone says get cancer, and I'm just like, what the
What?
fuck?
Dude, people
Why is
are
everyone
toxic.
assumed to get cancer, bro? Like,
Anyway, that's beside it. That's another aspect of
Humanity
this
is
game.
not growing.
But that was the experience. Like, I played Darius, I get freaking bullied, people are being toxic, and it's like, what the heck? And the feeling was literally, I remember I think the second, maybe third day I was playing, and I was like, enough of this. I'm trying to get good. I'd be decent. I'm be able to hold my own. Like, not anymore. Like, I've hit a wall, a mountain, something that needs to be conquered. I'm freaking conquering this. Like, no way am I about to be this bad at this game.
That's
You
like
can
that
ask
Warzone.
Ian. The very next day, throughout the entire time we were working, I'm sitting there listening to freaking, like, character, how to play this character, guides, the items you got to buy and stuff like that, how to deal with certain people, how to blah, blah. I'm learning this shit. Like, not anymore.
You still running
It was a
Darius?
feeling, and I did not like that feeling.
You still running Darius?
No, I play Mordecai top. Very comfortable with Mordecai top.
yeah, I respect that like willingness to accept the challenge, and I think that's something
Yeah.
that needs to be considered. And there's one thing that they
Exactly.
talk about in this game where like the challenge is subjective, and so like for me, I'm really good at rhythm games. I'm really good at action games, especially if they involve rhythm. So I like playing fighting games, and but like mass strategy, like risk type games, I'm really bad at because macro managing stuff like that. Like it's just I don't have the administrative mindset, so it's really fucking hard for me to do stuff like that. It takes a lot more effort than it is for me to be like, oh, cool, I just gotta hit to a rhythm, like, and I hit you 1, 2, 3, go high, go low. Okay, cool, now I'm mixing you up, and I can kind of see like when I really thought about it, I was like, okay, I might want some accessibility options for those big kind of management games. Like if I want to play like some kind of a, I don't know, like military tactics game. Um, but I would kind of like wade through the mud to try to get good to it. And the other thing too is like to bring up what I was going to say, like fighting games in particular, they require a high amount of skill and execution and stuff like that.
Mm-hmm.
And
Yes.
there's been a push so far to make them easier because what they've learned is that like people like to buy the new game. They like to go, oh, the new Street Fighter's out. Oh, the new Mortal Kombat's out. I remember these guys. I like the ninja, the blue guy. And then they buy it, and then the game's made to be really difficult and really high execution. And it's like you have to actually dedicate years of your life to get good. And they go, oh, fuck. Oh, Call of Duty's coming out next week? Oh, I'm just going to play Call of Duty then. Cool.
You
And then
want
they
every
drop
Street
off.
Fighter to be Marvel versus Capcom, where you could just button smash.
Yeah, but that's actually what they're trying to get to right now. Like they're trying to make it to where it's like a casual, and then all the people that are willing to put in the years to get good are really upset because they get bored really early.
Facts.
And so there's like a weird balance in it because the initial money that comes in from the casual fans, the people that are just excited there's a new Mortal Kombat, there's a new fucking Street Fighter, they throw $60 to play it for like 2 months. That's a huge wave of cash. And if you make it easy, it's more likely that more people are just going to throw $60 out for the 2 month, like basically honeymoon time for phase. But
Yeah,
then
but
the
think-
like people that are going to keep paying, they're going to buy the DLCs and they're going to go to the tournaments that you're like charging for and stuff like that. You need to make something that entertains them. So there's like a weird balance that they're trying to find. I personally like high execution because I like watching people's hands and being like, damn, like I can't do that. If that person's impressive.
That sounds like a slow burn to me, because if that's the way you're going, in my opinion, I could be wrong here though, and I should reveal my bias, but that sounds like you're also putting out low quality games, and eventually low quality games. Either that, if that's a company, like no one wants to play your games anymore. You start developing a name.
To your point, I agree, but I'll say, for example, with Street Fighter, it's attention span. So, like, before you could spend all
Street
day.
Fighter is challenging though.
But
It's not a
the
button mash game
casual
either.
gamer used to be able to spend all day playing Street Fighter.
Okay.
Now the casual gamer cannot spend all
Fair.
day playing Street Fighter just because the arcade style and stuff like that doesn't grab our attention
Yeah, I'm not gonna lie,
anymore.
I'm not that great at Street Fighter, but when I do play a casual, it's like, 'Cause I
Yeah.
remember playing with you when we were kids, like we.
Right. And see, the funny thing about
call
it
us
is,
a freaking
you
Derek.
could always tell.
Fuck
You can
Derek.
always tell people's skill level by
Fuck
who
you,
they
Derek.
picked, but there are certain characters if somebody picked or they did certain things with, there was such nuance to the skill levels.
Yeah.
Like, for example, if you start playing Street Fighter and a nigga just whooping your ass with Dan, son, and Dan is not a crappy character by any means, but he's a horrible character. Like his taunts, everything is just, it's a nuisance. Like
The troll.
Yeah.
he's a troll. Like
He's a
Soul
troll,
Calibur, the character who turns into the crawly thing and he does this.
And
it does
Oh, he
that.
does
Exactly
the
what
fucking
you're talking
big
about.
punches.
Man, but people who were nice with that character were nice, because his hits, he'd get on the ground, you'd have to combo off the ground. Same with Tekken. There was a dude in Tekken who would lay on the ground. I think his name was like John or Lee, the cop, the detective. He would lay on the
Yeah, the
ground.
Jackie Chan guy.
Yeah, and then the girl that wore the white Tekken 2, I'm thinking of the girl who wore the white shirt with the black pants. She had a lean combo where she started like that, Yoon or some shit like that. She started just boom, boom, boom. It's just certain things, and you would, especially with combos, you'd have to like stack your skill. So certain combos you could only make it so far in, but
you
then
gotta
you'd
learn the other
eventually
characters' combos too to be able to counter it.
to
Like,
be able to
there's
counter
a-
it, especially with Street
there's
Fighter.
levels
too.
to this
There's
stuff.
Street Fighter is really more of timing. If I can, I'm trying to bait you. It's like I'm trying to bait you. As soon as I bait you, I'm connecting everything I can connect, and I'm going back into defensive stance. Unless you really catch a rhythm, and the person just can't predict where you're blocking. So I like games like that, but it seems like, I don't know. I get it with the what's the name, Soul something?
Dark Souls.
Dark Souls. I get it with Dark Souls. The game is difficult, but that doesn't mean you just. Some games you just get to watch. As a kid, guess what games I couldn't beat? Metal Gear Solid. So I would watch my cousin play it. Like, it's just, I got the same amount of joy. If you can't beat the game, go watch it on Twitch. Like,
That's true. Actually, I think that's a interesting
valid
thing
point.
that like maybe like at some point you should just. It sounds lame, not necessarily like defeatist, but it's just like at some point like you need to acknowledge your limitations.
mhm.
And
Oh, you
kinda
beat
be
that
like,
game?
Yeah, like cool. Or
Duh.
like push through it if you can, but I mean like just be real about it. Like you're just not very adept at this particular thing. Like a lot of people here, like
Just put in the
they're
work to
upset
get
about,
adept at it. Like, man.
well, like here, like they were talking about Sekiro, and I was just like, dude, I love Sekiro. Like I have so much fun
Pure
playing that game,
counters.
and I got through it. And I didn't think about it until I finally finished reading the article, and I was like, man, if you have no rhythm, you can't beat Sekiro. Like you can't. The whole point is
To find the
understanding
rhythm.
patterns in rhythm to the flow of battle, and if you can't do it, you suck. Like, and there's no other way. It's not like Dark Souls where you just get tankier and you just run through the enemies or anything.
Or freaking
like,
roll.
yeah. You have to have rhythm, and if you don't got it, you're not gonna fucking survive.
You know what games slick teach you rhythm?
That's why
Sports
that game
games.
was so. That's why I remember the exact boss too that got me hooked in that game. Where I got to that, it was different from Dark Souls because I remember Ian telling me like this game is not Dark Souls. You can't just spam roll and get out of a move like you. And I remember getting the first boss. I forgot. I was the woman with 1,000 knives or whatever she did. I forgot what. I remember being stuck on that boss for hours, and I told myself, I'm getting this down.
I got an example for you. That's you. God of War.
Love that game.
The Valkyrie.
Yes. Oh yeah. Bare facts,
Gene
bro.
played God of War when he got it for 18 hours straight.
I couldn't put it down. It was that good. It was so good.
18 hours.
That was a great
Yeah,
game,
I've been eyeing it, but I haven't pulled the trigger just yet.
bro. You should play it. That's a great game. But there's a certain like caveat to the game. It's not crucial, but it's definitely, I guess you could say, a trophy thing where you can fight the Valkyries, and then when you get to the last Valkyrie, bro. I recently saw someone doing a speed run, or not a speed run, but like they killed it in like a minute or something like that, and I was like, dude, how? I spent hours trying to figure out that fight, and I finally got it, and it was so exhilarating. Like, you take those things out of games, like that exhilaration, that feeling of, like, it feels so good when you finally do it. Like,
After raging.
you can't do that to games,
Oh my
bro.
God. Outriders. That's why I fuck with Outriders. Because as you're playing, you're earning your difficulty level. So like you have to make it to the extremes or whatever. But it's, I don't know, it's perfect. It's tactical, it's shooting, and it's solo. You can run it with teams too. But yeah, I don't know. I like games like that.
Yeah.
I don't think they should make games easy. I think we're making life easy.
I mean, if people want to make games, you can make games easy, but you shouldn't make people who want to make games hard have a caveat like, oh, we have an easy version. If they don't want to make an easy version, they don't have to make an easy version.
It would be wild
agree
if
with
I
that.
perfected perfected characters. There's no point in doing that anymore. If I perfected anything in Soul Calibur and somebody just, a little kid came in and just took Killick and just started doing the staff thing and slapping my ass over and over, I'd be pissed off.
Okay, so
Well, the other thing too about that, like, what if like there's like a two options, like realistic mode and like bullshit mode, and you got really good at realistic mode, and then the kid comes in, picks bullshit mode, and just fucking wipes you. Cool.
That's lame, because I'll tell you this: if you can play 2K on like amateur, all star, whatever. So when you're playing your story, you're supposed to play it on hard. I've always been taught. Kevin taught me this: play the game, start the game on the hardest level you can. That's how you end up good. You don't want to waste your time. You need the skills you need. So put it on hard. If you can't get it, put it down one and then work your way from there. But don't start it on easy. In 2K, if I play on amateur and then I go and play online with people, my release won't be the same. It's going to be
that's a
the
valid
realistic
point,
one.
actually.
You know what I'm saying? So I can't compete if I'm just playing amateur at home. You know what I'm saying? So
I think the only exception that I make for these are like physical avenues, and even then, like, I acknowledge my own like limitations. Like, there's some parts of like fighting games where I'm just like, I don't have the reflexes to do this. I know I have the knowledge, I know I have a lot of capabilities, but sometimes I just don't have the reflexes to beat like some of the pros and stuff like that. You know what I mean? And whether it's because of my age or it's just because of the brain, like my brain is fucking set up. Like sometimes like the neurons just don't fire fast enough for it, and so like I kind of push through it and find a different way to win. You know what I mean?
yeah.
And for that, like people that are colorblind and stuff like that, like it would be fucked up if like they play a character that like every time you see a red light, your super is activated and they can't see the fucking light. You know what I mean? So like that type of stuff, I think there's leeway to be able to let people in. But if it's competitive, I think the bar for accessibility is even higher. If it's like a single player game, then yeah, I go for it. Like add some stuff, as long as the dev didn't intend to make it difficulty and you're not completely destroying their intention.
Yeah, I agree with that. Because if you add it to multiplayer, it's like playing Monopoly and saying, "Oh, but if other people get Boardwalk, I just won't land on Boardwalk the whole game."
Yeah, yeah.
Like,
You're not gonna be like,
I'm
you know
immune
Johnny,
from Boardwalk.
you know Johnny's bad at math, so give him $1,000. We all start with 500. I'm like, what? Like, fuck no, dude. We're all starting at 500.
Can you imagine doing that shit with Mario Party?
Um,
Tap the button real fast, but you see homie over there.
Yeah, it's great discussion in this, but we've already been talking for like an hour and 6 minutes, so I think let's call it. We gotta talk about the tennis swindler next time because I just think that conversation is gonna be so funny. That whole situation is just funny to me.
You talking about white Kevin Samuels?
What?
I just seen a picture of him and I just thought of white Kevin Samuels.
We'll save that one for next one.
Yeah, random. All right, y'all. Appreciate y'all for tuning in and watching Fake Deep Thinking. Us share our opinions and perspectives on this nonsense that's going on. Please smash that like button, hit that like button, spam that like button. Subscribe if not already subscribed. Hit the notification button to let you know when our drop an episode or when we go live. Follow our socials, TikTok and Instagram. Like and share those. Last one was pretty funny, honestly. That was the one where we talked about the spanking.
Oh, yeah.
And the elephant in the room.
Yeah, let's get it. And don't forget to go mess with Angel Blinds. Go get your blinds.
Yeah, hit them up. See y'all next time, guys. Peace. Welcome back to FDD. Just a group of friends sitting down talking about the world. Fake Deep Thinking, leave me low. We kind of
Dickin'.
John.
What's up, guys? You're
Doc.
Yo, yo. Yo, yo, yo.